Hey all, here at OS Reviews, you're watching our hands-on review of the TIAMAT Force. These are true wireless earbuds that sell for under 50 bucks, a little bit more expensive than some of the other more generic models we've checked out recently, but these do have a very interesting cylinder design. It actually reminds me a lot of a model we saw last year by Ovivo called the Ever. It has that same rotating shape that you use to store the earbuds in when you're not using them, and then it rotates to open the door so you can take them out when you want to put them into your ears. It's a very elegant design that I liked a lot, so I'm glad to see that another manufacturer is using it now. And the feature here is it has Bluetooth 5.0, so it's the latest version that has low latency and better battery performance, which has historically been not great on true wireless earbuds because the space is so tiny to put in a battery. Otherwise, these are going to be sweat-proof, so you can use them for the gym, and it also includes some extra accessories as part of the box, including a fan. So that means the charging case has a full USB port that can be used to also charge your smartphone, so it can even be used as a power bank. Now, the back of the box actually claims that the earbuds last up to 6 hours on a single go, but I'm a little bit skeptical of that. That might be if you're using just one earbud. If you are pairing them between, again, two left and right for stereo, that number might be a little lower. And below the compartment where we have the earbuds, it just says sound that moves you. This is just a pamphlet that includes some documentation guides and a quick user manual. We've also got spare silicone tips to get a more comfortable fit, and some of them also have wings attached. And in this larger compartment, we have the aforementioned additional accessories, and that includes a USB-based fan. So this is just a regular USB port. It can also be used through a micro USB as well. So you can even plug this into a cell phone, like an Android device, and that's going to provide power. It's also going to spin the blades, so this can be used to keep you cool, maybe in the summer. So that's a very strange kind of accessory, but it's included. And there's also a USB-based LED flashlight that they give you. This is much more useful. So 2 extra USB accessories as part of the box, because the again, the battery case here includes a full USB port. All right, on the top there's the TIAMAT logo. There's also the micro USB port for charging the battery case itself, LED status lights for charging. Now the body of the unit here is actually made out of aluminum, but it's not quite as cold to the touch, so it's a pretty thin layer, and the base here is made out of plastic, but overall it feels and looks pretty premium. If we compare it next to the Ovivo Ever that I talked about previously, you can tell that it's going to be a little bit skinnier. It's also going to be a little bit taller. We can twist the side here to pop out the earbuds, and it can close up like so to protect it. And it has 2 quotes. It says, "May the force in your hand." That is not grammatically correct, so I do wish maybe they would have kind of proofread that part. But on the other side it says Force by TIAMAT, so it's in this neon green color. The reason is because if we tap on the earbuds here, the color of the wheels are actually also green. It matches the exact same color shade as the lettering that they're using below. So this is actually a very kind of consistent design that they're going with, black and green. That is actually pretty cool looking in my opinion. So these earbuds are attached just using magnets. They can be popped out, and once you pop them out, it turns a bluish color. That means they've entered the pairing mode with your device, and when you put them back into the case, it immediately goes back into the... Moving into performance, let's talk about the comfort and fit first. That's a highlight on the TIAMAT Force because they're very lightweight, but more importantly, they have this outer ring which is made out of the silicone material that makes it more comfortable when you fit them in and provide some resistance. You can also swap out this ring for the tip that they provide that has a wing on the outer side, which catches your ears even more if you're doing a lot of exercising outdoors. So indeed, Bluetooth 5.0 has the advantage of very low latency. So what you'll notice is if you pause and play the music very quickly, or if you're watching a clip on YouTube, for instance, there is almost no delay or lag between the video and the audio, which is great. With that being said, sound quality I would say is average for Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds. Now recently we did review 2 other pairs, Dudio's Zeus Air as well as the Pamu Scroll, and both of these earbuds are interesting because they have a lot of bass for in-ear style earbuds. In comparison, I would say that the TIAMAT Force, they sound very clean and they sound good in terms of mids and highs, but they definitely lack a little bit of bass. So if you are, a huge bass head, you probably won't find it from these, which is again expected for in-ear style earbuds since there's pretty small drivers anyways compared to headphones. But the thing is, again, compared to these two, they actually had above average bass, which is why there was a bit more of a difference when I tried these out. With that being said, again, mids and highs do sound very clean and nuanced. So if you're listening to pop music, if you're listening to folk, even classical music, you can hear a lot of details within the sound, and I think you'll still be quite pleased. So not for bass heads, but sound quality is still above average, and for the typical consumer, I think you'll be pleased with the overall experience here, as long as you're not exclusively listening to EDM type music where you expect a lot of bass drops, things like that. Alright, so we can talk a little bit about the battery performance next. Indeed, they lasted me a very long time. It got roughly 5 hours in my testing. That's about 30 to 45 minutes longer than the Pamu Scroll and the Zeus Air that I talked about previously. So I guess that's a trade-off, is because the bass, maybe the drivers here aren't quite as large and low frequency, you do get longer battery performance. So if that's something that's worth it to you, then that is definitely one area where the TIAMAT Force stands out. Controls and ergonomics are good. Again, they are capacitive sensors, so the entire surface here is touch sensitive. You can tap on it once to play and pause the music, and you can also double tap, for instance, to skip tracks. I found it to be very sensitive, and it can register the lightest touches without any problems. It almost looks like it's inspired from Tron or kind of a sci-fi movie. So I really do like the aesthetic and the overall design that's going on here. And here's that fan that we can plug into the USB port here. There isn't a dedicated power switch, so you have to basically unplug it if you want to stop the fan. But there is a power key on the flashlight, so you can tap on this little dot here once, and that will turn the LED flashlight on. It is very bright and actually quite effective for illuminating objects in the dark, and again, does a pretty nice job if you just have this in your backpack, you want to find your keys or a doorknob in the dark. So that's the TIAMAT Force, probably one of the most unique TWS wireless earbuds on the market because it includes all of these crazy USB accessories. It can be used as a power bank. It has a very cool kind of rotating cylinder design, which I love, in addition to this very cool aesthetic with the touch-sensitive keys as well as this glowing LED light ring. It uses Bluetooth 5.0, so latency is also great. The only slight downside would be bass isn't quite as pronounced as on some other competing models, but overall mids and highs also sound quite good. So if you're looking for something that is very stylish to look at and performs well for things like pop music, watching movies, podcasts, I would say this is definitely something to consider, especially since the price also isn't too expensive. You can check out more details in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the unique TIAMAT Force